Hey y'all, it's Osha Cerese, your favorite life coach. Let's get back into it. We are reviewing Ready to Love season 10, episodes 1 through 4. So, spoiler alert, we're talking about cast members and details of the episodes. Next up, we have Rosalie, aka Rose. She's 37. She's an inside sales rep and a hairstylist. Here are my notes. She's very high energy. She makes it known that she needs her a man. She has one child. She had him at age 21. She enjoys interior design. She likes a tall man, even though she's just 5'2". She's very spiritual. That's very important to her spirituality. She caters to her man. She had a date with Cameron, and I like them so far together. Um, we'll talk about Cameron shortly, but she was very excited to see him, and he was very excited to see her as well. So I really like that. They were very flirty with each other. She does express needing stability, communication, and trust in a relationship. She's been cheated on by every single ex. She hasn't lost faith or hope in love, and she doesn't believe in giving up. She believes in her happily ever after, and she doesn't believe everyone is the same and doesn't allow her past to affect how she is with men. She did invite Cameron to say grace because he's not as spiritual or religious, and we'll get into him possibly on this post. Maybe you'll have to come back to the next one to see Cam's review. Um, and he was open, and she led the prayer, so she did like that. So let's dive a little deeper into Miss Rose. So her green flags are her personality. She's welcoming, she's friendly, she's nurturing. She has just nurturing, loving energy. She brings a light into the room. She has faith. She's very grounded in her spirituality, and she's emotionally open. She has not allowed her past experiences to weigh her down or shift her belief in love. And she knows what she wants. She has a lot of green flags, actually. Yellow flags could be maybe a little bit too trusting. Um, the fact that she has a history of every man cheating on her, she has to make sure that she's protecting her heart and that she's not attracting these patterns. Like, what could possibly be going on for her to attract every partner that is a cheater? And not saying that she's to blame, but sometimes we have to sit down and think about those things. Red flags. She hasn't shown too many red flags just yet. Um, I'm gonna have to keep watching to see what's going on that end. But again, just making sure that she is not just being too wide open, and also making sure she sticks to what's important to her, because she does say spirituality is important to her. Yet Cameron, who's probably the least spiritual person, is the one that she is leaning towards. So she has to make sure that those values align and that she's not just getting caught up in the physical attention, affection, the attraction, and the excitement that they share. So I would say that Rosalie, Miss Rose, is a hopeful romantic, and I love that about her. But just to make sure that you balance your optimism with discernment, that would be my suggestion. Fellas, would you date Rose? We have Hussein. I hope I'm saying his name right. For the chocolate lovers, he's tall, dark, and handsome. He's 42. He's an Adidas visuals manager. According to my notes, he is confident enough to cut in on a convo because when he walked in, he approached a couple who were talking already, and he said, "Can I cut in?" So that required some confidence. He also enjoys interior design. He is a former basketball player, so he's athletic. He doesn't like surface level conversation, and a, there was a woman who was giving him that, so he made that clear that he's not really into the small talk and the basic conversation. He does value confidence and friendship in a partner, and he's he's liking Sahara's energy. That is the one that I said kind of gives off like the Tiffany Haddish type vibes. Um, and he did have a connection with Shanice, what I talked about before. So we'll see how it grows and goes. He's a little mysterious, y'all. I haven't really seen too much about him to really know as much. My notes on him are probably the smallest, but this is what we can gather from what we know so far. So some of the green flags that he has is that he is confident and he's direct. Like I said, he walked in with confidence. He's spoke up. He cut in. He's clear about what he's interested in. So he knows what he wants. He doesn't shy away from expressing it. He's willing to talk about how he feels and just be open. And he does have that protective nature that Miss Shanice was loving. So just being willing to be protective. Um, Yellow flags, maybe he could be a little bit more um, open to the surface level conversation initially. I'm trying to find something to give for him because some people are nervous. It is the first mixer. Maybe there was something that he can offer to help her feel comfortable enough to have more conversation. It's not his responsibility, but maybe I got to give him a yellow flag. I don't know. Red flags. Um, maybe he could be a little easily frustrated or irritated. We'll see. I don't have enough on him to know. I'm gonna just keep watching. So far, he's coming correct. So we'll just say, to maybe give a little bit more grace when it comes to listening and meeting people where they are, and we'll see how it goes. Would you date Hussein, ladies? Next up, we have Nicole, aka Coley. She is 31 years old. She's a flight attendant and a student. And here are my notes. Remember, I was just telling you about the one who was having the surface level conversation? She's guilty. So she is a bit surface level in the mixers. She was giving cringy, corny jokes with Cameron. He's a firefighter, so she was like giving all of the stereotypical um, firefighter jokes about sliding down poles and getting cats out of trees, and they just weren't quite landing. Um, Her only requirements are to be kind and be tall. She's a fellow tall lady, so she prefers that her man is at least 6'2". She has been single for about 4 years. She likes Eddie. I kind of like him too. And you know, she is attracted to him, and we'll see their connection blossoming in future episodes based on the previews. She had a double date that was hosted by, I believe, Angie with Wayne and Eddie. And when Wayne was sharing how he's inspired by his little brother's family, having a wife and a child, she did get emotional because it was her brother's birthday and she had lost her brother to a motorcycle accident in Thailand. So she mentioned how she felt connected to Eddie because he's lost his father. um, she also went on a date with Jay to the miniature golf course, and she said that she liked that he led with him being a single father and that he's kind of opened her up to men with children based on their fatherly qualities. Some of her green flags: she's confident. I forgot to tell y'all she actually was eliminated after her first mixer because of the surface level conversation. When Tommy told her she could have a second chance, she was like, "Don't waste my effing time." But he was like, "There's 8 more singles that you haven't met." She was like, "Okay, I'll stay." So she is confident. She's fairly approachable, and she was allowing herself to be vulnerable. The yellow flags, I would say the fact that she's only has 2 requirements: kind and tall. And then the red flags, the surface level conversations, like, girl, you know, step up the conversation. Um, Also, read the room. Some of the jokes can be cringy, they're not landing. So, what I would say if I was her coach is for her to sit down with herself to really figure out if she is needing some more support with the grief of her brother, like therapy, unpacking that, making sure she doesn't trauma bond, and sitting down and figuring out what you really want and what are your values and what are you looking for in a man besides height and kindness. Fellas, would you date Coley? Stay tuned for the next reviews.